Hello, welcome to today's immigration tidbit. Okay, so assumably he tried to re-enter illegally after a deportation. I'm assuming he was deported the first time. And so what that means is he's subject to the permanent bar. Okay? Now, given that I said the permanent bar, it's kind of funny how permanent doesn't really mean permanent if you know what you're doing. So the answer to your question right off is no, you cannot petition him right now. I mean, you can petition him, but he's not going to be able to come in right now. He needs to wait 10 years from his last deportation. So that would be 2026. So it's getting close. It's relatively close. Another 2.5 years. And then it's not just a matter of you petitioning him. It's a matter of him applying for a waiver of the permanent bar. Okay, now a waiver of the permanent bar, if it's approved, then he can go forward with consulate processing. Now, given that I say that, if you time this right, you don't have to wait for 2.5 years to begin the process. You should actually start now. Okay, so you do the I-130, which is the first part. That's going to take 6 months to a year, give or take, to go through USCIS, and eventually it'll get transferred to NVC, which is the National Visa Center, and you'll provide all the affidavit of support documents and everything they need, and then ultimately it will be transferred to the U.S. consulate. Now you figure from the moment you do the I-130 and it gets transferred to the NVC, and you're going to then have to prepare the consulate processing papers. That takes a while. You're looking at about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, give or take, on the outset, depending what consulate he would have to go to. And then once it hits the U.S. consulate, there's going to be a time delay before the interview. So you can then file when it's appropriate, the waiver of the 10-year bar, or the permanent bar, so that hopefully it would be approved in relatively short time. And then, if it is, assuming there's no other grounds of inadmissibility, your husband would be able to come in, and you will have saved years of waiting time if it's done properly. So this is an interesting case in that you can actually begin a good part of it before he's actually eligible to come in, because it's going to take time for a lot of this stuff